the Wannabeez.
Who the fuck is this Jimmy guy that you guys always talk about?
I was more than happy to just take my hand and be on my fucking way.
It's like, no more stickers. We're not doing stickers. I gotta cap it, guys.
Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. I don't give a fuck. Fuck it.
Hey man, like this is my speech for everybody that's never done this before. Like
I was like, hashtag where's Walt?
She looked at the picture and she's like, what the fuck? How did you get that picture and all the shit, guy? Hello, and welcome to this edition of the Wannabeez. I'm your host, Nick Gula, and always in the beehive. Its eighth position for King Ant is Justin Kyle.
Yo.
And the most disappointing person on the planet, and the only reason he does this anytime is his wife Alyssa, because he just phones it in. John Van Hook.
Hey, everybody.
And we have a very, very special guest. He's been on every fucking pod that you can imagine that we love. Funbearables, Reviewing History, Tell Him Steve Dave. Been on the fucking Howard Stern show. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's Jimmy, the fucking hair guy.
what's going on, guys?
Yo.
Hey.
That's the part where we clap.
What happened?
You have been on a lot of fucking pods now, Jimmy. I believe if you were a comedian, this is what they would call doing the pod circuit. But usually that's when you have something to promote. But you are just a mail worker, right? You don't have anything to
I got some shit to promote. I got a few things to promote.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you a hard.
That's not why I'm here, but I got something to promote. Yeah.
We have mentioned Jimmy the hair guy so much on this specific show that like friends of mine who listen to Wannabeez that don't necessarily know the Tell 'Em Steve Dave lore, they're always like, who the fuck is this Jimmy guy that you guys always talk about?
Well, I did make an unforgettable appearance on New Year's that you could barely.
You did. You fucking crashed it.
Yeah, I just listened to it a
That was
few
awesome.
days ago. I'm like, you can't even fucking hear me. What a fucking train wreck that was, me calling in. Good Lord.
Yeah, well, it is what it is.
I enjoyed
We're
it.
just not there yet. We're not there yet with the phone.
Well,
We
your
haven't figured out
fault.
the phone.
No, my
No,
fucking
no.
fault.
No, well, we're supposed to be the professionals. We're supposed to be able to fucking at least take a fucking phone call already.
No. Let him take ownership.
It's not like you were expecting it.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
You want to talk about professionalism? Fucking, at least I have all of my equipment today. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, but see, with me, even though I forgot my fucking equipment and couldn't fucking hook up my equipment, I fucking rushed and almost killed myself going down the highway at 90 miles an hour to go to Best Buy to grab a cord just because of fucking Jimmy the hair guy. That's dedication. Now, John, on the other hand, we're still, the jury's still out.
Oh, John's here.
I'm
He is.
here, yeah.
He is.
What more could you possibly want?
You want him to take his shirt off?
Yes, definitely.
Nobody
100
wants me
fucking
to take
percent,
my
guy.
shirt off.
Jimmy has appeared on so much of like Tell 'Em Steve Dave Patreon videos that we enjoy. Mystery Inc. Fucking
Yeah, it's a good one.
Department Store Confidential.
Yeah, R.I.P. Unless Walt changes his mind. R.I.P. to that one. That was fun. That was a good one. I got some Sunday Jeff shows coming up very soon.
Fuck yeah. I love the little elf thing that you just did on the Xmas episode.
Yeah, that was definitely my finest performance, I have to say. I was definitely proud of that one. People were like texting me things I said from it, like the day it dropped, and I didn't even know what the fuck they were talking about. And then I went back and watched it, and I was like, oh, that's pretty good. I didn't even remember saying, I don't like standards to get them. Just get them so they were standards for me to go to the fucking buffet with them. And I'm like, I don't like standards. And somebody texted me that, and I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And they're like, you said it, guy. Yeah, that was a good one. I was very proud of that one.
The cookie situation was very funny. I thought, Sandy, you want a cookie? And he kept fucking saying, Sandy, you want a cookie?
Oh, yeah. That was tough, man. That was fucking tough. And if anybody hasn't seen it, sign up for the TSD Patreon and go to the Sunday Jeff Christmas special. And you can see me sitting on grown men's laps and feeding them cookies and milk. and I did a little dance. It was a good time.
Let's kind of go back to the beginning. Why are you known as Jimmy the Hair Guy? Like, for people who are just like I said, some people may not know who the fuck Jimmy the Hair Guy is. It's interesting because you and I had some sort of, we met the night you became
That's what I was gonna
Jimmy
say.
the Hair Guy.
Yep, I met you. Yep, I met you that day, and you already knew what I had done. Like, that's how quickly word had spread. Like, you already knew like who I was because of what I had done. It was what, the Stash Bash? Is that what it was? The
Yeah, it was the 25th anniversary of the Secret Stash.
Right.
I remember it because it was the same day as my 25th birthday.
Right.
So that was why I was in New Jersey. It was like the very first time I'd ever gone there.
That was your first time, and Mike was a dick to you, and then Twitter blew up. I don't know
Yeah.
that, but
I was gonna say that was a pretty unforgettable trip for you for so many reasons.
all right. Well, it was the Stash Bash. That's why I was in town. Not that I lived that far, but I had tickets to that thing. I was by myself, and I fucking bought. Like, for people that don't know, like when the Secret Stash does events, like it's like a ticketed event, and you get like, what is it, like every half hour, every 20 minutes or some shit. So it's like blocks of times. And my foolish ass bought a ticket for the very first one. So it's like 10 a.m. But when you bought a ticket to this event, like you went in for a half hour or whatever, you met Kev, you met the cast of Clerks 3, right? Was that the day they were there? And fucking, they signed shit and you took photos and all that. And then when your half hour was up, they gave you the boot. But at 7:00 that night, they had a big Q&A over at what's now Smiley Castle Cinemas. Right? That's where I was, right?
Yep.
And
it was like the Atlantic Highlands.
at the time, he hadn't bought it yet.
Yeah.
And so I had tickets for the fucking 10 a.m. So by the time I got out of there, I don't even know if it was 11 o'clock yet. And I had fucking 8 hours to kill until the fucking Q&A. And I'm like, I don't really want to fucking drive home. It's like an hour drive. I don't really want to fucking drive home and then come back here in 6 hours. So I'm like, what the fuck is there to do? The other thing is, without getting too much into the controversy, Walt and Bry were not invited to the Stash Bash. So they were at the TSD Town store that morning, which I didn't know that. I figured, well, where else can I go? I've been to the Quick Stop 50 fucking times. There's nothing to do there, especially by myself. So I'm like, I'll go over to the TSD store. I don't know, see what's going on there, And so I go over there and get them from Tom Steve Dave, who works the store. Had forever. I mean, they sell T-shirts and other bullshit, autographs and bumper stickers and shit. But one of the things they had for sale that I remember seeing there for years, if you listen to the podcast, you know about this, but Get 'em was selling a lock of Q's hair, Brian Quinn's hair from Practical Jokers. He had shaved his head as a punishment, made Murr wear it as a wig, and he gave Get 'em a lock of it to sell because of that was for the house bring down, right? Not the teeth? Or was it the teeth?
No, that was originally for the teeth, I
Was the
believe.
teeth?
Yeah. That's why he's so venomous about it. I think if it was for the house, I don't think he would be he would be such an asshole about it. But because it was for the teeth and so long ago, and he still doesn't have the teeth.
No, well, because he sat on that hair for like 2 years. But I mean, in his defense, he had it up for sale, but nobody was buying it because of the price tag. And so I show up that day, and there's a couple
Money
ants
bags.
there. Yeah, money bags. There's a couple ants there, and at the time I didn't know any ants. Like I knew maybe like 2, and they didn't even live near me. And so I show up. I'm kind of hanging around, and Walt and Bry are there. They're kind of walking in and out. And again, nobody knows the fuck I am, So they're being cordial, but nobody knows me by name. None of that shit. And I don't know, man. It was so weird. I just had so much fucking time to kill. Like, maybe that led to the decision. I have no idea. All I know is I was just like, I gotta kill fucking 8 hours. I'm at the store. I see the hair for sale. I'd seen it 1,000 fucking times. I go get him. Is that really for sale? He says, yeah. I say, all right, I'm gonna take it. And at this point, Walt and Bry are in the other room, and I'm not thinking much of it. I didn't even realize like they're actually recording. And the few ants that are there are freaking the fuck out because, like they're witnessing
History.
these ants are freaking out, and Get 'em says, should I tell them? And the ants are going, yes. And so, and Justin, I think you even know them. You know Cherry and Sean Hogarty. They were the ones that witnessed it. And so Get 'em goes and pokes his head into the studio, and he says the hair just sold. And I hear Walt say how much, and Get 'em says sale price. And I hear Walt say something else, but I couldn't make it out. And he comes back, he rings me up. Paid with credit card because I guess the big reveal is that I paid $2,000 for this hair. $2,000, and it's not. I don't want to see anybody. It's not. I mean, Murr wore a whole wig of this fucking hair. I literally bought, a strand. Like a strand. Like it's like 3 hairs. Like it's nothing for $2,000. And I was more than happy to just take my hair and be on my fucking way. And then fucking Bry walks out. And he said, I guess they hadn't started recording yet. I guess they were setting up because he walks out and he says, who bought the hair? And he's looking at everybody but me. I don't know why he thought it would be a chick. He's looking at Sherry. I think he thought she did it. And I put my hand up and he says, all right, you're going to be on the podcast. So now I'm freaking the fuck out. And I'm like texting. I'm texting like the few people I know that are ants and like our few people I know that like, know that how into the show I was. Mm-hmm. And I think I put it on Facebook. I'm going to fucking go on, tell him Steve did. But like, nothing can prepare you for that. Like I'm sitting there for an hour just like shitting myself, with Get 'em and fucking whoever else was there, And eventually the door opens and Walt sticks his head out and he gives me the wave. And I come in and Bry is talking. Q wasn't there. Q was at home on Skype. So I walk in and I can't hear Q because I don't have headphones on yet. So it sounds like Bry's just talking to himself, and Walt's like pointing me over to the chair, points to the headphones. So I sit down, I put on the headphones, and now I'm looking at Q on the computer screen like I am with you boys now, and now I can hear him because of the headphones. And if you want to hear the rest, I think it's episode 516.
Nice. Yep. I love that you have that memorized. I would too, honestly.
I use that number. I had a custom jersey made where I put Jimmy the Hair Guy as the name, and I used 516 as the number. And then I'm looking at it later on, and I'm like, what the fuck's the significance of that number? How did I pick that?
But you took $2,000 and pretty much did a dream of many. I'm talking all the ants that would actually love to kill for that situation and that opportunity, and you did it. So good on you for seizing the deal at that point, guy.
I didn't even see that coming either. Like, because like as I reveal in the episode, like I also have one of Shaggy Tudo from ICP's dreadlocks. You know what I mean? So like the idea of buying a piece of Quinn's hair, like she's like, well, I'll just put that in the collection. You know what I mean? Like,
and you're a collector. For those who don't know, like you have a very extensive collection, right?
I do. I didn't seek out. I didn't plan on collecting hair, and to my credit, I haven't bought any hair since. But I do have the hair of 2 celebrities.
That's another Patreon show you can watch, the Collector's Corner with Jimmy the Hair Guy. They went through your apartment. I love that episode.
That's one of the first things I did.
It's insane.
I know. Well, and I'll give you a little scoop. Hopefully Walt doesn't mind me saying this, but we are planning a sequel because if you can tell, I'm not in the place you once saw on Collector's Corner 1. I've since moved, and my lovely fiance lives with me. And so half of my stuff, or half the stuff here is mine, half the stuff here is hers. But she also collects shit like I do, and so my collection has.
Imagine.
Oh yeah, so my shit has doubled. My shit has easily doubled, if not tripled. And when we told Walt this on Black Friday, he said we got to come back. Then we got to do another one. So I'm hoping that happens in the next couple months. I'm just praying he does it in the form. But yeah, it looks like we do another one. All the shit from the first one is here, but now it's all in different places, and her shit's mixed in, and it's not like I've stopped buying shit. Like I have way more than even then. You know what I mean? So
I love it. I love all the content. Anytime I see Jimmy the Hair Guy in an episode, I'm fucking in. It's an instant watch or listen, whatever I have time to do. I'm fucking in. It was so fun being there that weekend and hearing the hubbub about, oh my God, did you hear that Q's hair? Somebody bought Q's hair. Oh my God. And
That was the thing
and then I
too.
met
Like
you.
I didn't even think it was like I didn't even understand the gravity of it when I did it. Like I kind of got it when I was going on the show, but it's not like I even foresaw that coming. And then I just figured, well, all right, like, you know, it is what it is. I'm here now, but you know, the episode's like I dropped for another week. And but yeah, dude, between Reddit and then Walt tweeting, like that night, people were coming up to me the whole fucking night, you know, because there are enough ants at that fucking thing, including you. And so even Ming heard, you know what I mean? He didn't know who it was, but even Ming had heard. Like word had really fucking spread. Like, and I remember going and looking on Reddit because I never went on fucking Reddit until, you know, somebody was like, oh, there's a post about you buying the hair. And there's that classic picture of me holding it, you know? And word just fucking spread like fucking wildfire. And then the same night, Walt tweeted, I think he was taking a shot at the stash, but he said, like, today is a day that'll live in infamy. It's a very special occasion, and like, you know, almost building up to it's the 25th anniversary of the stash. But no, he's like, today is the day we met Jimmy the Hair Guy. Tune in this week to hear more about this character or some shit. So, you know, the day hadn't even ended.
That's fucking amazing.
Yeah, dude, the day hadn't even ended, and people already knew who the fuck I was. They hadn't even heard me yet. You know what I mean?
When I met you, somebody introduced you as this is the next big Tell 'em Steve Dave Town sensation.
Who the fuck said that?
I think it
I'd
might
like
have
to know
been
that too.
Sherry. I'm not sure. I can't.
Well, probably because she was there. I mean, she.
Sherry's a wannabe, isn't she?
I'm sure she is. I'm sure
Nice.
she
Yeah,
is.
I'm pretty sure she is. Shout out Sherry. So we can cut this out if you don't want to go over this at all, but you kind of hinted at it a little bit earlier with like the Twitter stuff and the Brian and Walt not being there, and Justin's got his own little spin in this too. Do you want to talk about this like spat with you and Kev?
Oh,
Do you want to talk about that? I find it wildly interesting, and I think everybody else will
Really?
too. If you don't already know the story,
It's-
I think it's incredibly
it's
interesting.
definitely
But if you don't want to talk about it, we totally don't have
I mean,
to.
we could. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. I don't give a fuck. Fuck it.
It's definitely
Okay,
wild.
so
It's not like you and him are like mortal enemies or anything. Like you're still
no,
a
no, no,
Kev
no,
Smith
no, no,
fan.
no,
I don't know how much of a Justin Kyle fan he is.
no.
He probably doesn't even remember that. The one who probably remembers is fucking Zapsik, if I had to guess.
Zapsik, definitely. So it was crazy. I had my own little. It wasn't on the level of a Jimmy the Hair Guy situation. It was in fact quite the opposite.
Yeah, mine was celebrated. Yours was
Shit on.
well, the ants had your back.
Yeah, it was a tough. It was a weird tough. I think I was just fucking spiteful towards it a little bit, like the whole situation. And okay, so it started. Kevin had the anniversary, the 25th anniversary of the Secret Stash, right? So in my brain, as a fan of Tell 'em Steve Dave and as a fan of like comic book men, in my brain, that's what I think of when I think of the Secret Stash, right? Like that's kind of what you would expect, right? And it kind of was like a Clerks event, which is nothing wrong with that, but it was sort of like it sort of felt like a pre-Clerks 3 event. Like they were really like getting the hype up for Clerks 3, but they didn't show anything. But it was like, you know, you remember these guys? You know, we just filmed a thing and we just did the, you know what I mean? And it was kind of weird because it was just like you get 30 minutes, you get, you know, and then you get the boot. But it was, I don't know, it was just kind of weird. But anyway, I go in and I'm always covered with the Tell 'em Steve Dave patches and the merch or whatever. And Mike was super fucking weird and snarky with me the whole time for like no reason. Like he would go like out of his way and just be snarky with me. And there was like this one specific time where like there was like a line of people, they were all getting selfies with Kev, you know. And when it was my turn, like Mike came up to me and he was just like, "Hey man, we no selfies. Like seriously, we're done doing selfies. We don't have time for it. You know, I have to cap the line right here." And I was just like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Okay." And he's like, "Seriously, put the phone down. That's it. Like you're done. Seriously." I'm like, all right. Like what the fuck? So like he just kind of got in my face and got up. Like he was just being really kind of fucking like.
Was there anybody behind you, or were you like the last one in line?
there was other people behind me. Everybody was taking selfies and, getting this little, like, 2 seconds with Kev sort of thing, But I'm like, "All right, man." So, like, I said, "Hey, Kev," I just had, like, my little interaction. I had, like, stickers I gave Kev, and they were all, like, "Tell him Steve Dave" stickers. They were all, like, there was, like, a Baron von Flanagan sticker, there was a Bryce sticker, there was, like, a couple other ones, but they were all specifically "Tell him Steve Dave" or Brian Walt centric stickers. And we were
Mike
kinda
just
going
looks down
through
the
them
line. He's like, "No more stickers. We're not doing stickers. I gotta cap it, guys. It's enough stickers." Kev's getting way
It
too many stickers up here.
It was so yeah, it was so weird. So anyway, after Kev, I just sort of left, like, even before the 30-minute boot. I kinda just left, and I was like, "Alright, that was I don't know if that was worth the money, but hey, I'm here. I'm in Jersey. That was kinda fun. Hey, that was an interesting interaction kinda thing."
Yeah, just to be,
But,
like, made to feel uncomfortable the whole time.
yeah, yeah.
And that
I'm like,
wasn't a
"Alright,
cheap ticket
whatever."
either. That was what was it, like $150?
Yeah, it was like it was not cheap too, It was like, not only that, it was like I traveled alone, I had the Airbnb at
Yeah.
the train and bus. It was like it was a lot to even get there.
To give you a little bit more
But
perspective too, like when I had also gone to the grand opening of the new stash, like when they moved, and it was almost it was very similar as far as an event. The difference was Walt and Bry were still there, Get 'em was still there. It wasn't the cast of Clerks 3. Above the door, it said "Home of Tell 'em Steve Dave." It had them painted. Tell 'em Steve Dave had that little nook, that little corner where they were still doing their thing, selling their shit. That's probably the first. I'd met Walt a few times before that, but that was the first time I talked to Walt where he actually seemed like happy to talk to me. Which is funny because now obviously me and Walt are super tight, but like I drove out there once, I don't know, fucking 15, 20 years ago, sometime when the show was on and Walt was working, he could not have given less of a fuck about me. And then I had gone in there for other events and Walt was working and I didn't even like talk to him because I didn't want to fucking annoy him. But on the grand opening day, and obviously we know it's because, they weren't really necessarily employed there anymore, but on the grand opening day, Walt was actually like the most receptive to compliments and people talking to him that I'd ever seen him be, to the point that he was just kind of walking around. Like, you remember, Justin, like when you walk in, like everybody in, Kev does his big, "Hey man, like this is my speech for everybody that's never done this before." Like, and he yells for like 5 minutes or whatever. Walt was kind of walking
That
around.
was a really good Kevin.
Oh, thank you. Walt was kind of walking around during that, and this is COVID time, so I'm wearing a mask too. And I remember saying to Walt, and Walt's not wearing a mask, but I was. And I'm like, "Walt, can I get a photo with you?" And he's like, "Yeah, absolutely." Like, he couldn't have been nicer. And then I end up in the TSD corner, and I'm like, this is my first time seeing the Baron costume, which now I've seen a trillion times. I've seen it on the man himself, but it's my first time ever seeing it. So I'm like, home aloneing in front of it, and Walt like kind of sneaks in behind me and sees me kind of mocking out over it, and I'm like, "Walt, can I get a photo with you in the costume?" And he could not have been fucking cooler. But anyway, my point is they were still
awesome.
Yeah, it was better than the one we went to, but my point is, like, they were still involved at that point. Bry had just gotten married. They were still recording there, and you guys know as well as I do, they were only in that store for what, 6 months?
Yeah.
It wasn't long.
It was very short-lived.
By the time you and I went for that fucking 25th anniversary thing, that Home of Tell 'em Steve Dave shit was replaced with fucking Clerks 3 coming soon. And so this fucking 25th anniversary of the Stash was barely celebrating 25 years of the Stash. It was more so, like you said, promotion for Clerks 3, to the point that he brought every cast member he could out, and to their credit, they were all very gracious. They were all fucking very friendly. I spoke to Randall for the first time at that fucking thing, or what's his name? Jeff Anderson. And it was cool, but to defend Justin a little bit more, even at the 10 o'clock slot, the first slot, people were fucking in line the whole time to talk to Kev and get selfies. And Mike wasn't fucking bothering any of them. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't see any such fucking thing. I also didn't see anybody fully decked out in ant shit the way my man here was. You know what I mean? So, coincidence? I fucking think not, you know?
I think not.
No, absolutely not. All right, carry on.
That's why he's 8th in line to be King Ant.
Yeah, so Kev posts this, like, he made a tweet about, oh, we made, I don't even remember how much money. Thank you so much for everybody that came out, blah, blah, blah. And I was just kind of feeling like, fuck you. Like, fuck off. Like, come on. This was such a soulless little event that you, like, I was just kind of feeling a little spiteful. And so I tweeted something like, really, I was being kind of an asshole. I was like, hashtag where's Walt? I'm like, you wouldn't have been, you know, it was like, you couldn't have made it to 25 years without him. You know, you wanted to close during COVID, and who stopped you? It was Walt. You know, there was a whole fucking television show. There was TSD, like that was like my whole thing. And he was just like, you know, he responded with like, you please don't start shit. I'm gonna say this with love, and you know, blah blah blah. And it was just a thread of me and Kev going back and forth.
And it was funny too because he wasn't responding to anybody but you. Like, people were commenting on that thing all night. The only one that he was really talking to was you, and he kept talking to you. Like, he never fucking backed off. You guys just kept going back and forth.
Dare I say that's because you said the thing that kind of, you know, pierced him to the heart. Like, you got through enough for him to be like, oh, I'm gonna give this guy the what's what.
You gotta think of it this way. You, Justin, you were living in his head rent free at that moment.
Pretty much. I want to remember this motherfucker.
You want to come in and embarrass me on a fucking on my day, you motherfucker?
Exactly.
All because you wore your fucking threads, guy. That your fucking
exactly.
Fucking.
And I called out Mike. I called out Mike for being a dickhead, and
well, that's how
whole selfie thing.
Do you remember how that came about?
No,
I do.
Do you remember?
Yeah. Okay. So, dude, I loved this shit. So this was somehow it got brought up that you weren't able to take a selfie with Kev.
Right.
And Kev's like, what do you mean, man? I was taking selfies with people all day. Like, and you're like, well, somebody came up to me and told me, and you even quoted him. You said, you don't want to upset him. Like, you like somebody.
It was like some snark. Some wannabe manager. I like kind of called him something like some sort of snarky wannabe manager.
Yeah, you said somebody told me I couldn't, and I don't think he asked who.
Some wannabe. Yeah.
But he responded, and then you were like, well, I guess I'll just fucking say it then. It was Mike Zapsik. And I don't even think you tagged him, but that motherfucker had his fucking lips wrapped around Kev's cock so tight, he must have been following it, because then he chimed in. Without even being tagged, he knew that he was now involved, and he chimed in. And he fucking started shit with you. And it was so fucking, oh man, it was legendary. It was like
the Twitter feud of the century. Justin and Mike Zapsik and fucking Kevin Smith.
Yeah. And then I think it was shortly after that, Mike just started going on a mass ban of all ants.
Yeah.
On Twitter and Facebook. I can't see any of the secret stash posts on Facebook or Instagram or anything. None of them.
Like, I feel like he wanted to do that anyway, and I feel like you gave him what he needed.
Was I a snarky asshole? Probably, but whatever. Like, I paid my money. I'm entitled to my opinion. You know what I mean? Fuck him.
Does Walt know about all that?
I really don't know.
I was just gonna say, when we went to Jersey Sunday, Jeff said something about Zapsik telling him a couple days beforehand, like, you're gonna have a bunch of ants in the store this weekend, and he wasn't really, no one really knew how he knew that. I'm betting he knew that just because he's 100% tracking Justin's location and whereabouts. he's got to make sure he knows where all his enemies are. Zapsik's that spiteful. I believe it.
I really think so too.
He is, because I've made offhanded jokes about him on. Like, here's the thing. Like, you actually, like, to see me on TSD, like, first of all, outside of my first appearance, all my TSD appearances, are on Patreon or the fucking Christmas specials. So the only way you can hear or see me on TSD is to fucking pay money.
Yeah.
But on a few of those, and I couldn't even tell you which, I've made a couple offhanded remarks about Zapsik, and he knows. I don't know how he knows. I don't know if he fucking pays for it. I don't know if there's some fucking insider who fucking runs to him every time. Who knows, you know? But he knows what I said, and he has since, you know, unblocked me, fucking unfriended me, all that shit. You know, not that him and I were ever really friends to begin with, but he was always at least nice to me. And then, you know, I called him Judas or some shit, you know, like I forget what I did. I made a couple of jokes about him.
Wait, does that make Get Him Jesus?
Well, I think the boys called him that. I think the boys called him.
Take it back.
Like literally, I think they called him Judas in an episode, and then I filmed something like a week later, and he came up, and I said Judas, knowing that like they would know who I was talking about. I don't know, and a couple of things like that. You know what I mean? I had to call.
He definitely knows about fucking me. He definitely knows about me. Then.
He's tracking everybody.
Fucking A.
Who knows? He'll probably see.
But I think that was the first time I met you, and then what was the second? Was the cruise the second time?
It couldn't be. It couldn't be. There has to be a time in between, or I don't know. Maybe we had spoken a lot. We had definitely spoken a lot. We spoke during your Twitter beef. I mean, I was hitting you up during that.
And, a lot of people were. Dude, I was getting memes from people. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was huge.
Back to the cruise a little bit. That's the first place I met Jimmy. I've told this. I think I told it on the very, very first episode.
I think you told it on New Year's.
Oh, did I? I'm gonna breeze past it just real quick, but just like I was so terrified that I wouldn't see anybody on the boat. Seeing him within the first 20 minutes was just like it was like God coming down and patting me on the back and being like, "Hey, it's gonna be all right, buddy. You know, it's gonna be a good week."
I made you feel all right, right?
Oh my God, yeah, I hugged you. I don't know if you remember.
I'm not surprised.
I felt a little bit, invasive, but I definitely hugged you. And then I met Tracy.
Jimmy gives the best hugs, and I'm not even saying that.
You do give a lot of hugs.
He gives a lot of hugs.
I do. I was surprised. It definitely wasn't invasive.
Well, you and Ming are the same stature, and I didn't exactly hug him as much as I like cracked his back because I was squeezing him so hard because I was mad at him. So I'd say, yeah, you definitely gave a better hug.
Remind me why you were mad at him again. This wasn't because of the club thing that night, right?
It was. Yeah.
Was that?
Yeah, because it was 4 a.m. at that point, and everybody.
This is a year-long feud at this point.
Yeah, I was hanging out with these two until they had finally, made the hard decision to call it for the night, and then I was like, I'm gonna go to the front bar because I know it's like the only bar still open in that main area. I was like, I'm gonna go up there, get at least one more drink. And that's who I saw at that bar. And I was like, son of a bitch, because I hadn't seen him since he was just like, sorry, guys, no girl or no dudes, gotta go. And he left.
He said, no tits, no entry, and then fucking bailed.
Yeah, thank you.
No tits, no entry, no tits, no entry.
Justin, you have the tits, though. You didn't have the... Justin, you have the tits, but you don't have the you didn't have the looks they wanted.
We had a great time after that because that's then followed by us toasting everybody to Rob Bruce, and then this other Asian guy coming up and talking to him, and like they're almost having like a I don't want to be like insensitive or racist, but they were having like an Asian off to this girl. Like they were like squinting their faces and like saying the most like being like, no, that's not, I could do better. And then like, I'm not going to do it. But they were like saying it in the most Chinese, like Asian way they could say it. Oh, like this girl. And she was so hammered. She was just like, oh my God. Like falling back and forth drunk.
That's amazing.
And I gotta go.
Yeah, but if we didn't go, if we went to the party, don't forget we wouldn't have smoked that bone.
Oh yeah. No, I would never.
That was a good fucking story right there, guy.
I wouldn't trade anything for that whole moment up there smoking that bone.
What was your line to Johnson?
Oh, my line with
yeah.
Johnson was I walked up and I was like, you know what? I've decided I don't give a fuck. And he's like, what?
And Mary Beth's fucking
She was just like, what? What?
it made sense to him.
It sounded so good in your head, right, John?
It sounded like this is gonna be the thing that he's gonna be like, I respect this guy, you know? He doesn't give a fuck about me, and maybe that makes him good enough to talk to.
Wow.
Just gonna watch, no context whatsoever.
You could have been like a person on like a hater on Reddit that paid all that money to be on the cruise.
Yeah, I like smuggle the steak knife out of the summer palace, and I'm like, I just start stabbing. Somebody get the washy, guys. He's bleeding out. No, I would never.
Sounded like you don't
Oh
got
my
any
God.
savage compassion.
He's learned nothing.
You know, I going forward, I think it's very important to keep that in your forebrain, and just to get that in the episode real quick. Savage Compassion, get it on Amazon. Jeffrey Parker, he's dead, he's gone. Got to get his book. We loved
Jesus
him.
Christ.
And yeah, Nick's totally right. Always have savage compassion.
On that note, I passed along Savage Compassion to my coworker. So like she's borrowed it. She's reading it. It's been a whole thing. But we'll talk
You're
about
paying
that
it for.
later.
You're paying it for it.
Jimmy, I think go back to the cruise. Jimmy had the best cruise moment, I think, hands down, without a doubt. The whole rap battle with him and Bing.
Oh yeah.
One thing I love about that too is how much they keep referencing it, like loosely referencing it on the show, and I've seen it referenced on Twitter a couple times too. And anybody who wasn't on the boat just has no clue what they're talking
I
about.
wish to God people could see it. I wish I could see it. You know, I was there, but I have no idea what the fuck it looked like. You know, I was in the moment. It flew by so quick.
Right.
I'd give anything to fucking see it.
I remember. I
blacked out.
remember being pretty drunk, and I remember being in the front row. But when you and Ming were going back and forth and everything, and then when Q and Bri were like asking the audience, you know, who won, and he's like, all right, everybody, who thinks Ming won the battle? And I think like 2 or 3 people clapped. I think Lindsay clapped.
Ming got a pop, which honestly scared me because Ming did get a pop.
Did he?
But yeah,
he got a little bit of it. It was not comparable.
No, I know, but it scared me because I remember it gave me a little bit of hesitation because how did everybody think Ming did? Yeah, like, and I was like, oh fuck, okay.
There was okay, maybe I'm.
But then he said
in my head it was.
No, well, mine was definitely considerably. Yeah, that was definitely the highlight of my life.
I mean people were cheering Jimmy. Jimmy.
It was
the whole theater.
It was fucking that was insane. It was like I wasn't even there for this, but apparently at the Moot, Q showed up and people started chanting for me or some shit.
Yeah.
I wasn't even there. You know what I mean? Like, so I didn't even witness that. I'd only heard about it, you know?
Yeah.
But then but I was there for the rap battle, and that was definitely that was something. That was the other thing is, you know, like me and Ming had to fucking go backstage to get up there and shit. So like I missed my intro. Like I don't know what the fuck was said about me before I came out. Like I think they were telling Adam Ray that I'm a juggalo or some shit. I forget because I couldn't hear it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was gonna ask you about this. Like, was it kind of crazy for you to just come out on stage and like Bri, Ming, Q, and then you might have interacted with Burr once or twice on the boat or beforehand, but then you look over, you got Adam Ray just sitting there, he's like, and that like he has no idea who the fuck you are, and now you're rapping in front of him.
Well, here's the part that makes it that much crazier is like I'm backstage and we're doing like our pre-show fucking meetup or whatever the fuck, kind of discussing how it's gonna go, and Adam Ray walks up and he comes me first of all people. It's a big circle. Walks up to me first. Hey, how you doing, man? I'm Adam. And I go, oh, how's it going? I'm Jimmy. I had no idea who he was. I knew the name. I knew he was a comedian. I knew the name. I had no idea who he was. I get off that fucking boat. I post the fucking photo, the selfie that Ming took of all of us. The only evidence that this thing actually happened is the selfie of all of us at the end. And I post the photo, and all the comments. Nobody gives a fuck about Q. Nobody gives a fuck about Murr. Nobody gives a fuck about Bry or Ming. It's all Dr. Phil.
Yeah, you know Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil. And I'm like, what the fuck are you people fucking talking about? Now the motherfucker's got a Netflix special with the real Dr. Phil. I've seen countless fucking hours of Dr. Phil since. But as I'm fucking performing in front of the man, as I'm shaking his hand backstage, all that shit, no idea. Not a clue. Which honestly I think worked out in my favor, because otherwise, had I known all that, I would have probably been panicking even more. But I didn't realize what a huge deal he was. Now, every time my fucking friends reference him from, playing Biden on Kill Tony or whatever the fuck, I go, hey, I rapped in front of him? I was on stage with him?
I had no idea who he was either until after that boat. And now I'm a huge Adam Ray fan.
He's awesome. Me too.
I had only known about the Dr. Phil stuff, and if I'm being completely honest, I found it utterly annoying, and I just didn't get the ring to it. And then I saw him do just his normal stand-up on the boat, and I was like, holy fuck, this guy is insanely fast.
He did
insanely, like, his jokes are really fucking clever. And then, coming back, like, understanding that, seeing how nice and funny he was, watching him sing "Firework" by Katy Perry on stage in front of everybody. Yeah. It really it opened me up to Adam Ray.
I missed all of it.
I went back. How did you miss that?
I don't know. It's so funny. Like I was more.
Where were you?
I was more focused on Steve-O, I guess. I don't know. Who the fuck knows? Like
he was eating lunch and Jimmy was sitting there fucking staring at him.
You spent the whole 4 days in the buffet just looking for Steve-O.
Multiple times. Well, yeah. I mean, it's funny. Like, you guys listen to Tell 'em Steve, Dave, so you probably remember this. But for anybody who doesn't, it was discussed on the podcast prior to the cruise that, oh God, what was it? Q promised he'd introduce me to him or some shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He didn't even need to. I couldn't get away from the fucking guy, to the point that, like, before I went out for Space Monkeys, right before Space Monkeys was a fucking Steve-O show. So like, I go backstage for Space Monkeys. Steve-O's fucking still back there, and this is like the 100th time I've seen him. And so now he's like, oh, maybe this fucking weird guy that I keep seeing might actually be somebody if he's fucking back here. In reality, I'm not, but at least I kind of gave off the vibe. Maybe I am, because they're not letting any schlub back here, And
we didn't have the heels. We didn't have anything. We didn't. We tried. No.
we didn't get. We didn't get roofied either. So Nola had that.
Did I ever tell you I saw Nola fucking collapse? I was there for that.
No, what? That's like, wow. You saw the Hindenburg.
I did, and I've been meaning to fucking. I'm glad I can tell you this on mic, because I mean to tell you for fucking months. I was standing 10 feet from her when it happened. She was standing next to Bry.
I wonder if Nola even listens anymore. I bet she doesn't.
Well, hopefully she hears this.
Nola, you got to let us know. This is your calling. If you don't listen anymore, this is how we're gonna find out.
I look over and I remember, like, I don't know. I just, if you know anything about me, I can't keep my fucking. I almost have like ADD or some shit. I can't fucking stay still. Yeah. I can't look in one direction for more than fucking 10 seconds. So I'm kind of fucking looking around.
Very fidgety.
Super fucking fidgety.
You're a nervous guy.
Big time. And I happen to glance over, and I see her fucking stop, like, shaking. And I see her go down, and I see Bry fucking literally catch her in fucking midair. Like, it was fucking wild. Like, she literally is going down, and, like, he didn't even fucking have a second to fucking act that he was on top of it. He fucking caught her
like
midair.
Tobey Maguire.
Yeah. And then somebody came and fucking took her away. And I forget how the rest of the story goes. But, I remember seeing her at the Moot, too. God. She was with the fucking weird guy. And I remember thinking that he was an aunt. I remember thinking he was an aunt and she wasn't. Like, I almost felt like she was an imposter and he was the aunt. And come to find out, I had my shit all wrong. But I run into that fucking maniac on the stairs at some point, and he asked me if I'd seen her. And I think I even told him, I was like, yeah, I saw her 10 minutes ago somewhere. Because I thought they were, like, together. I thought they were, like, boyfriend, girlfriend. I ended up seeing her later on that night, and that's when she told me, she's like, no, that guy's fucking been stalking me since I got on the fucking boat. So I don't think I even saw him again, but if I did, I wasn't going to reveal her whereabouts again. But I did see the roofie kick in. That was, and at the time I had no idea I didn't know what the fuck happened. It was like she looked like she was having a fucking seizure and she went down. It was fucking crazy.
Maybe you didn't know what the fuck happened because right after that, something else across the room caught your attention. You just darted over to that. Yeah, somebody like cracked a beer, and you're like, "What's that?"
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, who's Nola?
Oh man.
No, that's crazy. That's crazy.
It was something.
What a fun trip though. Like overall, what like
they're always that fun. They're always that
feel
fun.
like
Wait till Q West, guys. It's just every single fucking time these guys do something to 100% guy. They always do 100%. Oh, my wife's over here. She's salivating over you getting punished in Key West.
Oh shit!
The fucking punishment guy.
Do you know what my punishment is?
I have no idea what your punishment is, and I'm not gonna reveal it. If I knew, I wasn't gonna reveal it anyways, guy, because it's gonna be a punishment for both of us because we both were in charge of that situation. All three, but John's not gonna be there.
Yeah, John's not even gonna be there.
By Jimmy's face, he doesn't quite know what we're talking about.
Yeah, what happened?
I think it was on the last one we recorded.
It was on the New Year's episode. Okay, so on the New Year's episode, we were going through like the whole slideshow of our year stuff.
Yeah, I remember that.
I can't remember what month it was, but there was a picture of Nick and his wife. It was April. It was a picture of Nick and his wife in like a hot tub or something, but they were fully clothed. It was like a jacuzzi tub, but they were fully clothed and they were just like kind of like, how would you describe it, Nick? Like it was just two photos of you guys like
just relaxing in a hot tub with no water.
Yeah.
They were in it and their like legs were intertwined with each other.
Yeah. It was like a fun photo. So I put it in the slideshow and it comes up. And, oh my God.
So my wife doesn't know anything about it. She's like, it's live at that fucking point. So she goes, "What the fuck?" She looks at the picture and she's like, "What the fuck? How did you get that picture?" And all the shit, guy. Justin says, throws me right under the bus. He gave it to me. He gave me all of it.
How else would I have gotten it?
Yeah, I know. She thought you secretly fucking hacked my phone and fucking
hilarious.
stole pictures or something. Guy.
I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Fucking.
So now she's gonna punish us out in Q West. We're all going out together. And I guess there's
we're gonna have we get to do a punishment in Key West. We'll record it. We'll record it or something and see if we can put it on the pod.
Good. That'll be great.
Yeah.
Jimmy, you gotta pack yourself into a suitcase or something. You gotta get yourself there.
Yeah, I'll get right on it.
No. I wish I could be there too, Jimmy.
What if we put out like a fucking big old stink out on Twitter and Reddit and we gotta get it's not a TSD event without Jimmy. We're not going.
Where have you been? Because I've been sending that to Q on Twitter like all the time already.
Yeah, he has definitely gotten a few. I stopped responding to him because I don't want him to think I'm putting people up to it.
I've gotten a lot of people that want to do that tour. They definitely want to do that tour. They're like losing their minds. It's insane how many people have like just gotten a hold of me and been like, "Hey, is Jimmy ever gonna consider another tour and all this stuff?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you do it. Just fucking." He said, "Man, he do it in a hot minute, guy." And I'm like,
"Go find me."
Yeah,
I just need notice.
Yeah.
Like minimum like a month, but even more than that would be great. But I'm totally down to do it, especially when the weather gets better. Because right now I don't even think the Juarez chicken is happening. I think they're close to like. It's like March or some shit. Yeah. But I'm so down. I'm totally down. I mean, even as of this recording, if somebody hit me up fucking today and knew when they were coming and I was available, I'll tell the audience, as you guys already know, the day I could do it is Sunday, because that way you can hit the Juarez boys, get the chicken. You can go to Jack's and see Tim the Record Store Clerk. And you can go to Secret Stash and see Sunday. Then on top of all that, you go back to the TSD Town General Store. You give Walt enough the fucking heads up. He probably come down. Gidim will fucking be there. Maybe you can get Bri to come down. And it's a good way to fucking meet as many people as possible. And then if Chuck's around, he'll come. If Rupp's around, he'll come. I got Victor to come to the Juarez Chicken that day. Because usually it's just Alex. But I got Victor to come that day. I could see if fucking Ming is around or Ladondo, whoever the fuck, you know what I mean? Like if people fucking want to give requests.
Speaking of Ladondo,
Yeah, I'm glad you're bringing this up.
so speaking of Ladondo, Jimmy, I think you and Ladondo might have a little bit of beef. And you're unaware of it right now.
Clearly, I don't know anything about it.
So Ladondo reached out to us. He's like, "Hey man, I would love to be on the Wannabeez. Like, when do you want to have me on?" I'm like, "Well, how about 2 weeks from now?" And he's like, "Oh, what? Did Jimmy the hair guy bump me or something?" I'm like, "Actually."
That really happened?
Yeah, it really happened.
Yeah.
Oh,
He said that exactly.
So I'm like, "Well, actually, yeah, you could blame Jimmy." He goes,
"Oh,
"That
no."
motherfucker."
I'm sure he didn't mean it as a dig. As much as it sounds like a dig, I'm sure he didn't mean it as like a.
I didn't hear from him, so I'm not that worried about it. I think if he had hit me up and said something, I
think it's purely a Wannabeez beef.
maybe Ladondo's like
we made up
type.
That's not really happening.
You won't hear from him.
I'm glad he wants to come
that
on.
really did happen. I got the text messages from him.
I'm glad he wants to come on. You guys are gonna have him on?
Yeah,
Fuck yeah,
absolutely.
dude.
I'm really awesome.
Yep.
Next week.
I'm really glad to hear
Stay
he wants to
tuned.
be on too. I'm
Really? Oh, that's great. He'll be a great guest.
Yeah, I never would have guessed when we started this how many of you guys would be clamoring to be to be on the show, that we would have to be like pushing other people off, because this isn't the first time that we've had to be like, "Ooh, sorry, we got so and so this weekend." So it's just crazy. It's nuts.
It's a great show.
I think one of my favorite guests that we had was Rupert. I had so much fun on the Rupert episode.
Yeah, what happened though? His audio sucked. What did I hear on the New Year's show?
Oh yeah,
his audio was bullshit.
Oh, I see what this is. We made fun of Jimmy on the rep episode, so Jimmy wants to go into rep on the. Okay, yeah,
No,
we can do that. So for some reason, rep the guy who's done so many podcasts. He's supposed to be like one of the tech guys in the background to tell him Steve Dave.
Yeah.
And this guy sends us an audio with our audio playing out the speaker in the background, so it's echoing everything we're saying back. It's not like an isolated audio that we would need of just his voice. It's everybody's voices at the same fucking time.
You could hear the yarn lady fart in the background.
He used the recording from the Zoom. That's what he was using. So everything that we were saying,
he's never gonna listen to
came over, and Justin had to work his magic because it was like a fucking nightmare, guy. It seemed like in the beginning, anytime we had a guest on, it'd be a fucking nightmare, an absolute fucking nightmare to actually get it to sound good. Because Justin, like when it was us three, it was kind of it was all right, but then when you added the fourth person, and for some reason it went nuts.
We've had to scrap so many episodes.
Yeah, are you serious?
Entirely.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's just podcasting, man. If you don't throw away a couple, that's like pancakes. You got to toss them a couple out.
There was like a whole thing that me and Nick had done. We interviewed my friend Joseph, who runs a Satanic Delco. He's like a Satanist guy. And we did like a whole interview with him, and his audio for some reason was like corrupted or something. Like I don't know, something was fucked up with it, so it was like unusable. And also my audio was fucked up.
That's heartbreaking.
Jimmy the Hair Guy's such a completionist that he's legitimately disappointed that he doesn't get to listen to more of our fucking voice.
Are you kidding me? I am. I love this show. You fucking.
That is so. Oh man, wow, you're touching my heart, man. Yeah,
maybe on the next cruise we'll have like the Wannabeez will open up for Space Monkeys. You know what I mean? We'll have Nick Gula up on stage.
I'd fucking shit myself. I'd have to walk off the boat. That's it. I'm fucking leaving. This is all done here.
That's hot,
dude. You should have seen his reaction when Bryce said, "Oh yeah, you guys are the Wannabeez. I'll do your show." Nick Gula jumped out of his fucking chair and walked to the next. He just was pacing like a fucking dog, just back and forth, back and forth. I can't fucking believe it. Holy fuck!
We
Oh,
built this thing up. We fucking built this thing up, right? In our
You earned
heads,
it.
right? For like 2 weeks. And then all of a sudden, it was like, oh yeah, I'll totally fucking do it. And I'm like, you know what I'm saying? It was like, fucking holy shit.
You earned it. Come on.
Did we?
I don't know, man.
Did we?
Thanks,
Did we?
man.
I'm going to tell you something, and you might have to edit this out because I don't know if they want this going public.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
But
see. I still wanna hear
yeah, I'm getting the look.
Miss
I'll cut it. I'll
You might have to edit this.
Oh.
You might have
I'll
to
cut
edit this.
It'll be like a bunch of bees buzzing right now.
Yeah, you might have to
It
edit
gets
this.
louder and then fades out.
You three gentlemen have inspired another podcast. Do you know this?
No.
Is it reviewing history?
No, he was doing that well before you guys.
Yeah, he was doing it well before us.
No,
guys.
but I meant like he said he left our episode with some ideas. So
Oh, I'm not talking about ideas. I'm talking about somebody starting a podcast because of you guys.
oh really?
Really?
Who knows? I don't know. I probably shouldn't be saying any of this, but you guys are very influential. Very influential. I have not missed an episode. I haven't heard the last J.A. Parker one.
Oh man, you're gonna love it.
That's gonna be
the one that comes after that. That's gonna come out tomorrow. It hits a little harder after listening to the one that you're talking about.
yeah.
But yeah, I think you're gonna love them both.
Yeah, listen to him back to back.
I guarantee I will. That and TSD's finally back tonight. Thank God. After what? 3
Yeah,
weeks?
just saw a new one drop.
I mean, we're dating ourselves here, but good Lord, I'm so fucking excited. Oh,
Nick Gula, Jimmy the hair guy, time comedian.
yeah, seriously. By the time you hear this, they'll have been on for weeks, But as of the time of this recording, we haven't heard them in weeks, and I'm sure we're all going through withdrawals. I know I am. Good Lord.
7 days without TSD makes 1 week, man. I get it.
Seriously, multiply that by fucking 3. Good Lord, I'm barely hanging on here. Barely hanging on.
Jimmy, so you're a wannabe, right?
100%.
You're a juggalo, but most importantly, right now you're a wannabe.
Yeah.
100%.
100%.
So obviously you understand that before we can close the show out, there is something that you, the guest, must provide us.
Oh. I was so excited for this, I forgot to look up a B fact. Fuck.
Oh,
It didn't even cross my fucking mind. Hey, babe,
Oh
you have a
my-
B fact?
Oh, you can't phone it in.
I'm
Come
not.
on.
I'm, she's a.
I got Jimmy. All right,
no. No, wait. Let Jimmy sink or swim.
Sink or swim. Oh shit.
Okay.
Nick tries to throw him the lifeboat, and we are not fucking deploying that shit, guys.
You can do the
Okay.
plug
Water.
I gotta do
Sharks are
one
coming.
plug. I gotta do one plug.
After the B fact.
Oh, B fact
I
first.
call the shots here, James.
Okay.
James
All right.
Harrison.
B fact first.
B fact first.
Okay. Bees have 5 eyes.
That's a great B fact. I feel like we might have said it already.
You
but it's
did?
great.
Oh fuck.
We might have.
All right, hold on. I can't
Yeah.
remember. There's been 20 fucking B facts. I can't remember what the fuck you guys have
Okay,
done.
we'll do this. How about this? Well, I'll cut all this out. We'll do this. I'll go. This B fact is brought to you by, and then you'll plug whatever you'll plug, and then you'll do the B fact.
Okay.
Huh?
Let's find the
Huh?
fucking find a really far one down the line because they probably all of those fucking things.
Hey Jimmy, say this. Fermented honey, known as mead.
Let me write this down. Fermented mead.
Honey, fermented honey,
Yeah.
known as mead,
A pot of honey was found in King Tut's tomb.
Yeah.
was first produced in ancient China.
Yeah.
I'm not cutting any of this out.
Yeah. I was gonna say leave all this in. Yeah.
Around 7000 BCE,
Okay.
making it the world's oldest alcoholic beverage.
I don't even know where I'm typing this right now. Typing this into Google. Oh. I just started typing. All right, whatever. I
You're
got
giving
it.
Google facts.
No, Google's confirming it, so that's good. Yeah, leave all this in, please.
All right.
Show that I came unprepared. Yeah, no. So this B fact is brought to you by we mentioned Rupp. We mentioned reviewing history. Rupp just dropped a Patreon for reviewing history. $5 a month. I think you can pay up to 20 if you want, but $5 a month gets you one show a week. He basically took the fucking Walt method with TSD, you know what I mean, minus merch. You know, like there's no fucking $100 tier that gets you a reviewing Historyopoly or anything like that. But
no skateboards.
Yeah, no skateboards for reviewing history, not yet. But my stake in this is that by the time this comes out, it'll have already dropped. But as of this recording, next week, the first episode of the show that I'm co-hosting with Rupp called Slasher School will be dropping, which I'm very proud of. We cover a different slasher every week. You guys are familiar with the podcast. Slasher School is me, Rupp, and Ant. No Steve. And Ant doesn't know shit about horror movies, about slashers, none of that shit. Me and Rupp consider ourselves to be somewhat experts on it. So we pick a fucking slasher, we make Ant watch it, we discuss it at length. He has to give it a grade at the end. If his grade comes in near Oz, he passes. If he doesn't, he wears a dunce cap. And we give some fucking, some facts on the movie as reviewing history does, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I can't promise there's any Jim impressions on there. There might be. I can't remember. We've done about 6 of them, but I'll let you in on a little fucking, I'll give you a little fucking exclusive. And
whoa,
you might, hopefully you don't have to edit this either. I don't know. I'll probably say all kinds of shit I shouldn't be, but Rupp has all these
Did you sign an NDA?
Fuck no. I'm not getting
Fuck it then.
Rupp has, I figured this will only help, right? Like, so Rupp has all these wacky ideas for shit he wants me to do. So we have Slasher School. That one we've done 6 episodes. That's coming no matter what. We've done them. What Rupp would like to do that I wouldn't say apprehensive, but I'm very fucking shitting my pants, if you will, is he wants to do a show called Jimmy the Hair Guy versus the World. And in that show...
Yeah. Yep.
You know about this?
That. He mentioned that title on the last time that he was on.
He did?
He didn't. Yeah. He didn't give us the premise.
I don't remember that. Okay. I'm going to give you the premise. So, fuck you, Rupp. Well, I should say thank you, because honestly, I can't get the
Rupp is one of your bosses now, so.
I know. You work for Walt, Chuck, Rupp, technically Brian, Q. Yeah, I know. So one episode that we're probably going to do soon is we're going to go do a pizza eating challenge. That'll be good. But he would also like me to, he also like to do an episode where we go to cons and I have to sell my autograph to people. He wants to do one where I go to a fucking open mic and I have to do a minute of stand-up material that he has written for me and see if I can get laughs. He's got all kinds of ideas, and I'm terrified.
That's a really good idea.
I'm absolutely terrified. But I know people will love it. I won't, but other people will, and that's what it's all about, right? We want people to laugh, even if it's very fucking painful for me.
You know what, though? It makes you stretch your wings a little bit in ways that you never thought you would,
That's really all TSD has done is make me do things I never thought I would do. In a lot of good ways. But this is like really pushing me. You know what I mean? Like I played sports against fucking Get 'em and Tom, and that was horrible, and this might be worse. I don't know. We'll see. I've eaten baby food. I've eaten fucking other bullshit. Now I gotta fucking go do stand-up. God help me. Or fucking sell my autograph. Or who knows,
I can't wait for that one. I hope it happens. I'm
sure it will. I kind of hope it doesn't, but I'm sure it will. So sign up today at patreon.com/reviewinghistory if any of that interests you. $5 a month. You can spend up to 20, I believe. Please sign up because then I get paid for this fucking horrible shit that I have to do.
Wait, what's your beef act? Wait, you have a beef act, right?
I do. I have a beef act. I looked this up on my own here. Listen to this. You ready for this? Okay. Did you know that fermented honey known as mead was first produced in ancient China around 7000 BCE, making it the world's oldest alcoholic beverage? Did you know that?
No, we didn't know that, man.
I had
Never
no
knew
That's
that.
amazing.
Honestly, the first time I've ever heard that.
The fact.
came prepared. You came prepared, Jimmy.
Damn right I did.
Jimmy does not drop the ball ever.
Never ever. I knew exactly what my prerogative was here. Come with a fucking beat back. Buzz, motherfucker.
Oh, you ended the show.
No. I'm just, flexing my Wannabeez fan muscle,
Wait, so I had one more question.
Go ahead.
When are we gonna see a Wannabeez tattoo on Jimmy the Hair Guy?
Oh, Jesus. Well, if
Will you get all 3 B's on you?
oh, God.
Oh.
I mean, I'm definitely not opposed.
I can see some room right there on your wrist.
about, like-
No, okay.
I
You got any
little
ass
bit,
cheek
maybe.
space for Nick Gula?
Yeah,
You get Nick
plenty
Gula's face
of
on there?
ass cheek space. Contact my tattoo artist and the TSD tattoo
We'll
artist.
set it up.
Yeah, set it up. Give me some challenges. Fucking. Yeah, we'll go from
No,
there.
this is. I just want you to bring back Mystery Inc. You need to make that happen. It was
Me
one of my
too.
favorite Patreon
Me
shows.
too. Yeah, me too, man. I love it. I just hit Walt up about it recently, and honestly, I think the thing that's holding it back is, well, I know the thing that's holding it back is he can't figure out 3 games to play that we haven't already, like TSD games. And I've sent him. I hit the curator up, past guest, great guest, by the way. By the way, I would have sucked at that trivia too, Nick. That shit was fucking. I mean, you've seen me in action. I'm horrible, but and he gave me some ideas for games, but I don't know. Waltz doesn't really seem to jump on it. So if you can think of all the fucking TSD games that have been played on the show that have not been played on Mystery Inc., send it to me. I'll forward it to Walt. I don't know. I think that's really what's holding us back.
I don't know.
I wish we could do 2 Live Crew or Middle Aged Jew, but I don't think there's enough fucking meat on that bone. You know what I mean? Like, how many rounds of that could we play to fill fucking an hour?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
But that's like my favorite. That's the fucking.
That's great.
It is. That's the best. That's the fucking greatest.
Who's your favorite TSD Town resident other than the 3?
Other than the 3? Oof, that's tough. It's like, who's your favorite?
This is gonna go on record.
Yeah, I know.
This is gonna go on record.
That's.
I'm gonna send this to Chuck.
Choose wisely.
Chuck's in my wedding. Chuck and Rupp are both in my wedding. So I mean,
Amazing.
I got a question for you. When you having like Johnny Law on? Like, you got other guests you need on?
I would love to have Johnny Law on anytime.
You should definitely.
Is he a wannabe?
I don't know, but I'm sure he would be.
I don't even know how to contact him. I have no idea.
I actually just followed him on Instagram, and he has a very personal, private Instagram. So I am not surprised to see at all that. I think just because I have like ant stuff in my bio, I think is the only reason he accepted me. So he's not like an easy person to exactly get a hold of, or like he's not all that public, but he might come on. I could reach out to him.
I would reach out to him on there. I could even.
I'd love to have him.
Word in his ear. Who else do you need? You got Ladondo.
We gotta get Tom. I love Tom.
Tom, I bet Tom would do it. I bet you Frank 5 would do it.
Frank 5 would be awesome. Frank, we
Yeah.
got to do I want to
yeah.
do a Get Him episode.
Absolutely, yes. Get him as a must.
I'm sure he's very accessible. I mean, God, you've had him in the background, right? When Rupp was
waiting for us.
Yeah.
I would love to have Get Him on. I don't know. It would just be awesome to have like a checklist of who we've had on.
I think you can get. I think you can get most of them.
Yeah.
Minus Q, I think most of them are relatively accessible.
I mean, even if it's just like a little voice clip, I'll take it.
Mm-hmm. You could probably get Tim. Michelle would be hard.
Me and Michelle had a really great conversation at Black Friday. He and I were chatting it up quite a bit.
You should have fucking. Did you tell him up the pod?
No, I just didn't want to look at my podcast.
You should have Chuck on again, but like, you know, not like the first time where it was to discuss the cruise and shit, but like to actually just.
I
like,
love Chuck.
I do too.
No, we were planning we were like saying the whole crossover, like have Fun Bearable come on and like we both go back and forth. That was something we were talking about, and Chuck's amenable to that, he said. So
good.
So
That'd be fucking great.
we just gotta get the logistics all thing. That's the hardest part about that is just trying to get the logistics down.
Yeah.
I think it would be fun to do like what I know it's coming, but that whole like board game podcasting thing, like if we were able to fucking grace of God, we all get together. John fucking we teleport him.
Who's on a game night?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
You
like
saying
fucking podcasting versus game night thing? It would be so
Wannabeez on game night, you're saying?
Yeah, guy.
It could happen.
I don't think it could, but it's a dream.
If I was invited, I would move heaven and hell to get there. I promise you that.
I would go. I would literally. I don't care what's going on. I would cancel Key West to go.
I think once the reviewing history and Fun Bearable ones come out, like if people react strongly to those, I bet you Walt would be, you know.
But for like, oh, okay, reviewing history. Okay, that's got a pretty good following. Fun Bearable definitely got a good following. And Wannabeez comes on, people are like, who?
Honestly, man, I don't think your fan base is that much smaller than those guys, to be honest. Like I consider all three shows to be monsters in the podcast game.
I think you're drunk, Jimmy. You're fucking hammered.
Never.
I appreciate that so much, man. I feel like I might be giving you an underwhelming response, but I cannot tell you how much that means just the world to hear you say that. To know how much just shit you're into, and to think that we have made it on that list enough that you want to come on here and wax us. That's awesome. I appreciate it.
I'm literally going to go to work tomorrow. I'm going to quit my job, and I'm going to podcast full time.
Doing this full time. Fuck it. Let's go.
Full time.
Jimmy said I'm somebody.
I wish I could do that. Do you know how often I've had that thought? Oh my God.
Yeah. No, Jim, you got to keep going until you're Postmaster General.
Oh, that'll never happen. I can't even get a fucking promotion out of what I'm doing
Do they have
now.
a height requirement on that?
Oh, Jesus. I guess Rupp was
I
on
love you,
recently.
Jimmy.
Jesus Christ. No, I know he was. That fucking asshole.
All right, be cool. Be cool.
Shut the fuck up.
Buzz, motherfucker.
Nice job, boys.